All right, let's get into it. The gold discount window? A secret weapon? We're about to pull back the curtain on a story about gold and the US dollar. And let me tell you, it involves a hidden mechanism that might just be the financial system's ultimate ace in the hole. And it's going to challenge pretty much everything you thought you knew. So let me just throw this out there right at the start. What if the gold standard never actually ended? Seriously, what if it wasn't abolished, but just hidden from public view? What if, when things get really bad, gold is still the thing holding the whole system together? Now, we all know the official story, right? It's pretty straightforward. August 1971, a Sunday night, President Nixon gets on TV and basically says, "That's it, folks, the US is no longer swapping dollars for gold." And just like that, boom, the gold window slammed shut and our modern era of fiat money was born. So how did we get there? Well, it all goes back to Bretton Woods. After World War II, the dollar was pegged to gold. It was the bedrock. But then the 60s happened. The US started printing way too many dollars. And countries like France, they started getting nervous. They started showing up and saying, "Hey, we'd like our gold back now, please." They were calling America's bluff, and the gold reserves were just pouring out. Nixon really had no choice. He had to slam that window shut. And from that moment on, officially, gold became this barbarous relic. Just a historical curiosity. But what if that was all just a story for us, for public consumption? What if, behind closed doors, the Federal Reserve kept a secret back channel to gold open, but only for the world's most powerful players? And that's where we get to the real heart of this thing. It's this little-known, super-secret emergency facility called the gold discount window. Think of it as the Fed's secret lifeline, the big red button they push only when the entire system is about to go over a cliff. Okay, so what is it exactly? It's basically a secret pawn shop for a very exclusive club of countries. When a huge crisis hits, these central banks can quietly show up, use their gold as collateral, and get billions of freshly printed US dollars, no questions asked, straight from the Fed. And the crazy part is how they do it. It's all thanks to something called earmarked gold. See, dozens of countries store their national treasures, their gold reserves, in the New York Fed's vaults, like way deep underneath Manhattan. We're talking thousands of tons of foreign-owned gold, all sitting in one place, just waiting. So picture this. A crisis is brewing. A huge foreign bank is about to collapse, and it needs dollars, like yesterday. Their central bank makes a quiet phone call to the New York Fed. They offer up their gold as collateral. And here's the magic trick. Nobody moves a single gold bar. The Fed just makes a little note in its ledger, moving the gold on paper. And just like that, instantly, billions of dollars are wired around the world. Problem solved. In secret. And that's why this is so unbelievably powerful. It's all about this secrecy. The whole thing bypasses politics completely. For the Fed, it's a zero-risk loan, because they're holding the best collateral on Earth. And for the country getting the loan, they get the cash they need without having to sell their family's silver, It prevents a total market panic. Hey, just a quick pause here. If you're finding this as fascinating as I do us a huge favor and hit that like button, share this with someone who'd be interested, and definitely subscribe so you don't miss what we've got coming up next. Okay, so now that we know how it works, let's talk about what it means. Because this secret window, it creates this invisible global power structure. This goes way beyond just finance. We're talking pure geopolitics now, a very clear pecking order. And this just blows the lid off the whole thing, doesn't it? It reveals this incredible double life. Publicly, the story is, oh, gold is just a rock. Our money is based on trust. But the secret reality, the one they don't talk about, it's that trust has a breaking point. And when the chips are down, the only thing that actually matters is gold, hard, physical gold. So you end up with this, three-tiered system of power. You've got your tier 1 nations, think Germany, France, Italy. These are the gold card members of the club. They keep your gold in New York, so they get instant access. Then you have tier 2, like Russia and China. They've got plenty of gold, but they keep it at home, so sorry, no easy dollars for you. And then there's tier 3, basically everyone else. No gold, no swap lines, no access. They're just completely dependent on the system. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? They get to pretend everything is fine while privately pawning their crown jewels to the Americans. It's perfect. They get to look strong and stable on the world stage, all while secretly getting a bailout from the US. It is an incredible, hidden form of power. So where is all this heading? What's the end game? Well, the thing is, secrets like this don't stay secret forever, and the rest of the world is starting to catch on. They're reacting. And what we're seeing is this quiet but absolutely unmistakable global shift back towards gold. Just look at what's happening. The countries outside this inner circle, they're building their own lifeboats. China has been on a gold buying binge for what, 18 straight months now? Russia is doing everything it can to get away from the dollar. And then you have countries like Poland, Hungary, Turkey. They are literally flying their gold home from vaults in New York and London. They are taking their chips off the table. And listen, this isn't some fringe movement. This is happening right at the core of the global banking system. There's this new set of rules, Basel III, that quietly reclassified physical gold. It's now officially a Tier 1 asset. You know what that means? It means it's considered the safest thing a bank can own. It's right up there with cash. It was essentially a quiet, backdoor remonetization of gold. But all of this, it all points to America's final card to play, its ultimate ace in the hole. Because if this whole debt-based system really starts to unravel, the U.S. has one last, absolutely shocking move it can make. Check this out. Officially, on the government's books, the U.S. values its gigantic gold stockpile at a price from 1973, just over $42 an ounce. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is valued at a measly $11 billion. But at today's prices, that same pile of gold is worth over $600 billion. And right there, in that enormous gap, that's the secret weapon. It's called gold revaluation, the nuclear option. If everything is collapsing, the U.S. Treasury could just declare a new price for gold, a much, much higher price. Imagine they say it's now $20,000 an ounce. Literally overnight, the value of their reserves would explode into the trillions. The government's balance sheet would be magically fixed, and they could issue a new gold-backed currency to calm everyone down. But there's one terrifying catch, a huge one. This whole plan, this ultimate reset button, it only works if the gold is actually there. And that right there is the great unknown. The U.S. hasn't had a full independent audit of its gold in over 70 years. For decades, there have been rumors that a lot of that gold has been leased out or swapped away, replaced with little paper IOUs from banks that might not even exist anymore. So the real question is, what happens if they open the vault and it's full of paper instead of gold? And that leaves us with one final thought. The very existence of this secret gold window, it's like a confession from the people in charge. It's them admitting that all this fiat money, all this debt, it's really just a promise. But gold is the final payment. So when all the promises eventually break, and history says they always do, the only question that matters is, which one will you be holding, the promise or the payment?